Hi, I'm John Alexandrov for the REIC. I'm back here with Bob Caliker, who's the president of Ross Mortgage Company. And Bob, it's mid-February 2013. Believe it or not, we're getting close to the spring market already. As you know, you're hearing and I'm hearing from realtors all across New England that the dynamics have changed dramatically in the real estate market. We're actually seeing prices begin to increase right now.
Yep.
There's considerable competition for the listings that are out there. I believe last year, in comparison to this year, Bob, but just looking at the statistics at the board, there are 50% fewer listings this year available for sale than last year.
Mm-hmm.
That means there's much more buyer competition for those listings, and sellers are in command again. I mean, 8 months ago it was completely a buyer's market.
Yep.
And all of a sudden now it's a seller's market.
It's funny to see how quick the shift happened too. I mean, 8 months ago, like you were saying, the issue, if you talk to the average real estate agent, was they had plenty of listings and nobody with any real interest in buying. And now we're seeing the opposite. Even in last month, in January, now we're hearing from almost every realtor we talk to is, I don't have anything to sell and I have buyers lined up around the block waiting to buy.
There you go. And it's amazing to see that dynamic. And I think right now it's almost like a buyer and seller's market. And I say that simply because although prices are increasing and those listings are selling very quickly, buyers still can access very low interest rates.
Yes.
That's probably not going to last very long. You know, the more competition there is in the housing industry, with the economy shifting a little bit and housing starting to go up, you know, rates are probably going to increase.
Yeah. Now, what you see right now, as far as the leading economic indicators, is most of them are turning positive.
Right.
Now, they're not positive in the sense that we're looking at another boom,
Right.
but they're positive in the sense that it finally looks like we've got a real recovery, the beginnings of a real recovery. So what I tell most customers that I deal with when they ask me what rates are going to do is nobody can really predict what's going to happen at this point. But what I can tell you is every time you hear good news, good economic news, that's going to put upward pressure on rates.
So Bob, I know many of the people who are considering refinancing have already done so, but if you haven't done so, I mean, now's the time to get in because, you know, if rates even tick up by 0.5% or 1% over the next 6 months, that decreases your borrowing power significantly.
Yeah, by 10 to 20%.
10 or 20%, and that really has a negative impact on your cash flow. So I mean, for those of you who haven't refinanced yet, you know, get in here right now and make sure you get that done. But in terms of people who are purchasing, the same thing is true. I mean, if you're considering purchasing a home right now, and let's just say, just to use round numbers, you know, these aren't the actual numbers, this is just a projection, that interest rates are 4%. If they go to 5% over the next 6, 8, 10, 12 months, that decreases the amount of money that you can spend on a home dramatically.
Right, and if you look at the fact that prices of the homes are also appreciating, you're losing buying power by the day.
So if you're a buyer and you've been considering purchasing a home, you know, for the past 2, 3, 4 years, like a lot of buyers have, now's the time to do it. And Bob, I also want you to talk a little bit about how, you know, that the different programs available, because sometimes people think they have to have 20% down, or, you know, they have to have, you know, $50,000 saved up or whatever to purchase a home, and that's just not true these days.
You can buy a home with an FHA loan with as little as 3.5% down. So on a $200,000 loan, that's $7,000.
Yeah.
You know, $200,000 will buy you a starter home in most markets.
Yes.
Outside of the Boston.
Outside the metro area. Yeah. Or a condominium, or maybe a two-family, so that you have some support coming from the rental income.
Right. Right now, if you buy a house using an FHA loan for about $250,000, you're looking at a monthly payment, including taxes, insurance, mortgage insurance, principal, and interest, of about a little under $1,800 a month.
Wow.
You look at what you're paying for rent. I mean, I've got people right now that are paying $1,800 a month for, you know, renting a 2-bedroom apartment.
Right.
To be able to own a house for the same payment is pretty aggressive.
Well, that's a great point, because rents are actually going up right now.
They are.
They're going up dramatically. I mean, they're up about 10-15% just in the past year, and they're going to continue to go up because of some of the factors that we've been talking about.
I actually have a woman that called me yesterday. She lives in Stoneham. She's paying $1,675 a month for rent in a small apartment, and her lease expires next month, and her rent's going to $1,800 a month. She's buying a $200,000 house in Pepperell, her total payment, including everything,
Yeah.
will be under $1,300. So she's going to save $500 a month
Plus the tax.
plus the tax write-off.
So if you're one of those people, if you're a buyer who really wants to get a good deal, and every buyer wants to get a good deal, Bob,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
So if you're a buyer who wants to get a good deal, who wants to get a great interest rate, and probably make a very, very good and financial decision, now's really the time. That window is closing. Sometimes people think, well, that window's never going to close. It's almost
Right.
like, Amazon yesterday, I think, closed at $235 a share. You could have bought Amazon, 2.5 years ago for $30 a share.
Right.
And people kept saying, well, it's not going to go up any longer. I'll wait till it comes down a little bit.
Right.
It never came down.
Right.
Well, the same thing may be happening right now in the real estate market. If you're thinking, well, maybe interest rates will go up a little and then come down, or property values will go up and then come down, it's probably not going to happen. So that window's closing. Make sure that if you are a borrower, whether you're going to refinance or whether you're going to purchase a home, now's the time. Give Bob a call. Call here to Ross Mortgage. And if you don't have a realtor, by the way, I'm sure you can arrange a relationship, right, Bob?
Absolutely, we can do that.
Okay, so Bob, again, your direct line number is 508-986-6111.
Yes, 508-986-6111.
Okay, you're happy to help anybody that's watching in right now.
Yes, I am.
Okay.